Hello, you wonderful people, and welcome to another episode of Crime Centric. This being a show where I talk about crime dramas that I watch. For today's episode, I'm going to talk about the latest episode of Ray Donovan. So we have a very good episode of Ray Donovan this week. It's kind of like a lot of stuff is spiraling out of control for Ray. It's kind of interesting. Like, he's at the beginning of the season, finally got back to a good place. Then, stuff with Hector, that's all calmed down a little bit. So life has been okay. I mean, granted, still in the whole situation he's in, but Mickey took the rap for him. So that's good in a sense, because everything that's happening is eating away at Ray. The fact of the matter is Abby's got her cancer. She doesn't want to go through the surgery because she doesn't want to lose her boobs, and she's going to go the alternative route. But she did express to Ray there are risks involved, which I'm surprised. I mean, I guess because they have such an open dialogue now, she's willing to tell him everything and not keep anything back now that it's kind of out there in the open. But that, combined with the fact is he still has to work for Sonya and do crap he doesn't want to do because Belikov wasn't out at that particular point in the episode. So basically he had to be her errand boy, do some stuff for her. Kind of saw more of behind the scenes of the operation, because he always knew what Belikov did, pimping, as well as, all the drugs aspect to it, and, as well as Sonya's part in playing all this. But he never really, because this episode he met the girls. He actually met one particular girl and, kind of got attached to her. She, they talked on occasion, like, they were. He's like, he even commented on the fact is that when he met her later on, he's like, oh, your English is getting good. We just simply refer to her as the string girl, because she would always be fiddling with the string every time he saw her. And, it's that all put a damper on him, because it's like, holy crap. Like, I helped put a bad guy back out there on the streets. He's got all these different girls. He's whoring them out, forcing them in this life because they don't have any choice in the matter. So there's that. Plus, the fact of the matter is his dad's rotting in prison for this crime. Like, granted, yes, him and his dad have the rockiest history, but he still feels guilty about it. Like, Abby tries to make him feel better. It's like, it's okay. Mickey dug his own grave. He put you in this situation. And then Ray's like, well, what about this Belikov guy? He's pimping people out. She's like, I know it sucks, but essentially, you're doing the right thing. You're doing what's best for your family. So don't question what you're doing. But it's like, he can't help but question it, because it's like, this is an evil dude. And we see how that whole situation ended at the end of the episode. I had a feeling at some point he was going to kill Belikov. I just didn't know what the circumstances were. What I was expecting was like, okay, String Girl would be there and he'd see Belikov, abusing her, because, the whole like, okay, BS apology thing. I mean, plus the fact is he's drunk at the time too. I mean, it really sucks that he has to apologize to that dude. It's like, it has to give that half-ass apology, being like, I'm sorry that I kind of got you locked up, but it's like, And then I was thinking like, okay, Ray be drunk and he'll, see Belikov beaten on the string girl, and then that will force him to kill him so that she can get away as well as the other girls. But it's like, nope. Twist is, string girl is dead. That broke my heart. I was like, oh, because I didn't expect that. I did not think like she'd be dead, but he killed her just in the middle of, like, things were heating up in the bed, I guess, and he did that. But it doesn't excuse the fact that he killed her. And, you can see it break Ray's heart, too. Because I bet you somewhere in the back of his mind when he looks at that girl, maybe there's a part of him that saw Bridget, too. Because, I doubt String Girl was that old anyway. But the fact of the matter is, Belikov is like, okay, we can be friends. Just help me dispose of her body. We'll ship her back to Russia, and then they'll make her body disappear. And Ray just couldn't handle it, started choking Belikov, even ended up killing him by making him shoot himself with his own gun, threw his body in a crate, which I don't know whether Ray, like, sealed that up or not. Like, I'm curious, like, as to know whether or not it's going to be immediate, whether or not the body's found, because the fact is that, like, either way it's going to be found, but I'm wondering, is it going to be like, oh, they come to look in the box and see like, okay, Belikov's body's in there, so let's report this? Or is it going to be like the box is sealed and they're like, why open it? We already know what's inside, and ship it off, so it's not until it gets to Russia and they open it that they find out it's Belikov's body. Either way, it's going to get found out, but the Russia route means that it's going to take a lot longer for it to come to light. But that really bummed me out. And, Ray ended up dropping her off to the All Saints mortuary, just, so that she could be identified. And, given a proper burial, not just like cast aside like a piece of trash or something. It was a shame, dude. And it's really sad, like, all this on top of, I guess he was kind of out of it at the baptism. And I guess, saying all this stuff about like how, during the whole baptism, talking about how it believes in Jesus, follow Jesus, I guess, all that just started weighing more and more on his consciousness, basically with the whole everything happening. And basically he just started drinking heavily. It was the only way he could like numb himself to everything that was going on. So I am curious to see what will be the, will the ramifications be immediate, or will it kind of take a little while before we get to them? So I'm very curious about that front. Another interesting thing about this episode was the fact is we got to see a more human side to Sonya, I guess. I mean, yes, she's never been outright evil per se. I mean, granted, she is in some very shady and very disgusting business, but we haven't seen her particular being evil, but it's like we got to see a more normal side to her, I guess. I mean, because we kind of saw the evil side of her when she's basically forcing Ray to work for her. It's like, no, Belikov is still out. I mean, still not out yet. So basically, you still have to pay off. Our original agreement is still on until Belikov is out. So you're still under me, which I knew she was. I mean, granted, she was fair about it, I guess. Like, until Belikov's out, then you won't have to work for me anymore. But I knew that she was going to twist it on him at some point and make it so that he has to work for her, doing some stuff. It was never anything too serious. Just I mean, granted, in the eyes of the law, it's serious. Like picking up and dropping off some forged paintings. But what we ended up seeing was just her, like, at a charity event, basically saying one of the paintings she had forged is the money for it is being sent to charity. I mean, granted, the painting ended up being for Stu, which was kind of interesting seeing him and Ashley in this episode. We haven't seen them for a while. Did they pop up at all in season 3? I think they did. The whole like her and that guy that she was dating at the time who was abusive. I don't remember if that was last season or not. Or was that season 2? I don't remember. Season 2 and 3 kind of blurred a little bit in my mind, just because of how back to back I saw them. But nonetheless, it was kind of interesting seeing them in this episode, and obviously still being a little troubled, both of them. The fact of the matter is she married Stu. That's kind of interesting. Didn't expect that. I thought it was always just going to be like you're my side chick type of thing. Because remember, he was married. Did his wife ever divorce him? I don't know. Well, she probably never found out about the whole cheating. He probably most likely divorced her. But the fact is, those two are together. They're married. Still very dysfunctional relationship, because the fact of the matter is she's kind of going on a decline, as an actress. No one really gives a crap about her, and basically she wants Ray it's not that, oh, this site has my nudes. She wants this site to have her nudes. She wants her nudes blasted all over the place so that she can increase her popularity. Even like her and her husband set up a sex tape, obviously with a different dude, and put that up for everyone to see. So it's just for the fact of bolstering her popularity. So, like I said, still freaking dysfunctional. And at the same time, we have Bunchy moving into the house with Ray and Abby, not really knowing what the whole situation is, because, he's trying to deal with the whole, like, yo, Teresa kind of just up and bounced. I think they said, like, it's been like a month. And, we also got to see that side of Bunchy where it's like he sees, like, okay, there's something going on here. Ray's drinking again, just things between him and Abby. The fact is, Abby's got all this medicine around here. Like, he's like, you're okay, right? And she's like, yeah, I'm fine. Like, she's not giving him any answers because she still wants to keep that secret. Like, the only person in the family that knows is Ray. And so Bunchy just, flew off the handle. Like, he was super pissed at Ray because Ray had was just constantly drinking and wasn't sharing about anything. He even tried to give Maria one of his crosses, like one of those beads he had gotten from when he was an altar boy. And then Munchie's like, yo, what the hell are you doing? You must be out your damn mind. Like, did you forget that comes from Father Connolly, the one that molested them? It's just like, get that away from her. And it's just like, Ray was just out of his mind because he was just, like I said, consumed with everything. But Bunchy did kind of piece it together by the end of the episode. He's like, you got cancer, don't you? And she admitted, and he's like, don't die. I don't want you to die, He didn't break up his mother specifically, but that was to me what I thought when he saw the medicine and stuff. I thought immediately he was going to figure it out then, because I was like, yeah, because I don't know, because it depends on how old Bunchy was. He is the youngest, so he was probably like a super young when his mom died from cancer, so. But, it was just, he's just like, I don't want you to die. You're my best friend. Plus, he's like, the whole situation with Maria, he can't do that on his own. He needs Abby's help too. She's a very important part of his life. He feels like she's the only, she works so well with Maria, and he just, he can't do it on his own, and he just doesn't want her to die. So that was kind of sad. It's like, oh, because, even though they're in-laws, like, that's still his sister to him. It's like, he already lost one sister. I'm sure he's not willing to lose another one. Plus, lost his sister and lost his mom. So I'm pretty sure he's not willing to, like, let that happen, losing Abby too. So also in this episode, kind of once again, side story, the whole Connor situation. Like, it's like he gets dumber and dumber every episode. He's drinking. Him and Damien went off and shot somebody's, blow up house or whatever it is. Ended up shooting it, and they ran off. I could be I misheard this or whatever, but didn't that guy say, I see it's you, Donovan, or something? So does that mean he knows it was Connor who did it? Meaning that's going to come back to bite him in the ass. It's just like he's such an idiot. Like, he's swinging that gun around. Like, he's trying so hard to be hardcore. And it's just like, you're failing miserably, dude. You're trying too damn hard. And it's a damn shame. Like, I don't know. And it's kind of sad thing is he's kind of mixing Damien into it too. But, Damien's got his own issues, because we ended up finding out this episode because Terry ended up finding his bag. As the fact is that Damien's been staying at the gym, most likely because he has nowhere else to go. So, because he had a bag of clothes as well as some toothpaste. So, Terry didn't really say anything about it, but I'm sure that's going to be something that kind of gets discussed later on. I kind of skipped over it. I meant to go back to it. The Sonya thing. We ended up finding out Sonya has breast cancer too. And that hit Ray in a certain way, because it's like looking at her with a reflection of like, hey, a reflection of Abby. And it's just like, oh, like, how bad is it? And I really like the metaphor she used for it. Basically comparing it to cancer basically comes in 3 different animals: a turtle, a rabbit, and a bird. A turtle's slow, you can catch it. A rabbit, even though it's fast, you can still chase it. But a bird is like the moment it flies away, it's like out of your reach. It's basically a hopeless battle. So, and that was it was very interesting that it was kind of put in that metaphorical sense. I mean, interesting and extremely sad. There was that whole situation with her and Ray quote unquote hooking up, because we don't really know how far it went. The way he was talking to Abby about it makes it seem like they went all the way. All we saw was them kissing and him touching her boob, which we saw she has a scarf because she went through the surgery as well, at least on one of her boobs. So basically she wanted like reassurance, being like, oh, am I ugly? Tell me that, I look beautiful. And I don't know, I guess maybe they went all the way. I don't know. I kind of want to give Ray the benefit of that. I find it a little funny and ironic, being that literally like earlier parts of the episode I'm watching it, the fact is Ray's drinking again and everything, because Bunch was at his meeting and he was talking about that. And I was thinking in the back of my mind, I was like, well, he's not cheating anymore. I mean, he's yet to cheat on Abby this season, so that's good. And then later on in the episode that happens. I was like, dude, did I curse him or something literally saying that? It just to me, the timing was incredible. He even tried to bring it up to Abby, but she's like, I just don't want to hear that right now. So I don't know, man. It does make you wonder how's that whole situation going to stand with Sonya, after the fact that he's killed Belikov now, and now that she thinks the situation's okay, it makes you wonder, will she stay in contact with him, kind of ask him to show up and do stuff for her or not? Like, oh, I know you're not working for me anymore. Like, you did your part and got Belikov out. I had a feeling that she was going to step up and kind of become like the main antagonist of this season, and it looks like it might go that route. I mean, the fact of the matter is she noted that Ray doing what he did pissed off a lot of people back in Russia. There's a lot of powerful people that are involved in this whole operation. And Sonya basically was saying, like, oh, I kept him at bay from just coming after you and exacting revenge. But it's like, after what he's done now, will they come in, in what way are they going to come and exact revenge? I mean, will he tell Abby the truth about this too? Especially because Abby was under the impression that everything was okay now that Belikov was released. It's like they weren't going to come after their family anymore. But it's like the moment they find out Belikov's dead, they're going to come after Ray hard. And also in this side of this episode, we also had like Mickey. I mean, basically Mickey having to basically lie about the whole situation. He told like a really messed up joke that I thought was funny about the guy being like, okay, he had two choices. He could take it up the butt or he can jump. And it's like, did it hurt? He's like, so which one did you do? And basically, did it? So when you jumped, did it hurt? And basically, I forgot, I'm messing it up, but basically the guy squinched up and was like, it only hurt a little bit. I was like, wow. I legitimately did laugh. He doesn't tell the most tasteful jokes because a lot of his jokes end up being very racist a lot of times. But my sick, twisted sense of humor, I found that a little funny. And we also had that whole conversation with him and Ray over the phone, basically saying the fact is, hey, they took the death penalty off. Basically, instead of 8 counts of murder, it's been dropped down to 3. So he's going to be in prison, he's like, oh, I will get out by this certain time. But it's like, as an old man, obviously he would die before, way, way before then. I forgot, wasn't it like some ridiculous number, like 100 years or something like that, did he get or something? I don't know. But basically you see him kind of choking up a little bit, telling Ray to kiss Maria for him, and it's just, he's willing to do the time, but it doesn't make it any easier, which that in itself just pushed Ray even more in this episode. So it's kind of interesting. You actually feel a little bad for Mickey. You see Abby's side of it. It's like, yeah, Mickey calls this whole situation like he causes every situation that Ray basically has to dig him out of. But at the same time, it doesn't make it any easier because he did actually make it right this time. He self-sacrificed it, which granted, now that you think about it, it's like, now that Belikov is dead, doesn't that kind of nullify Mickey sacrificing himself like that? I don't know. Overall, very good episode, and can't wait to see where we go next week. But that's all I want to talk about in this episode. Till the next time we meet, be happy, be safe, live life to the fullest, and enjoy it. Good day, and goodbye.